Hey guys, welcome to Sippin Spillin with Syd from 3 Mississippi. I tell you what, it feels like a Mississippi summer today. It is warm. It is a bit on the humid side, but it feels good. I'm not mad at it. Actually just found a bird nest above the garage. Um, don't mind me, I'm just driving under a tree in the back here. You're gonna see coming up on our left behind me, you will see Mike's garden right there. Look at that. I'm actually headed to a couple places. I'm gonna go into town to the local hardware store. I got to get some new filters for the HVAC because it was one of those things that I feel falls under Mike's category. And I had mentioned it to him a while back, and he was like, yeah. But then it didn't happen. And, we've got big dogs that have a lot of hair, and the filters, the intake filter really sucks those up. So I had changed the upstairs one. I didn't change the intake one because I couldn't find the right size, and then I got busy doing other stuff, and I kind of just only changed the one that's in the machine or in the air conditioner. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So yesterday I noticed it wasn't running so great, and that the condenser valve thing was kind of freezing over, and I was like, well, that's not good. So anyway, long story short, I took out the intake one, and it was toast. So I did not have a spare one of those, so I turned the unit off, of course, and checked the downstairs one, and got the information off of that one that I need to go get new filters so that I can replace them. But I think I'm just gonna have to add that to my list of things that I do every month, because it had been a minute since they had been done, and it was full. And so the upstairs it's running, but it's not pushing out any air. So I think there's something else wrong with the upstairs unit, because it is considerably warmer up there in my office right now, which is not pleasant. So like yesterday, it got up to like 85. I had turned the unit off because I knew it wasn't running right. It was up to like 85 up there, and just that stagnant kind of, all the hot air has risen upstairs. It was not pleasant. So anyway, I'm gonna try to get in there and double check and make sure that's the only thing that could be cranky. And once I change it out, hopefully, it'll be happier. I do suspect there is something else wrong with the downstairs, or not with the downstairs, with the upstairs unit. Just because even once I took that out and I let it run for a little bit just to see if it made a difference, I feel like it did not, which it should have. So I feel like there's something else going on. So I might have to be doing some YouTube University on how to fix my HVAC upstairs, because there's just, it's relatively miserable up there right now. So, which is fine, during the day when I'm sitting under the ceiling fan in my office, like, it's not that big of a deal. But at night, when you go to try to sleep, it's a little uncomfortable if it's, granted I have a ceiling fan in there too, but it's, still, if it's too hot in there, it makes it really hard to sleep, I think. So anyway, I am hopeful that I can rectify this on my own, but we shall see, because I don't know. I'm not an HVAC repair person. I do have a number for a guy locally, which he may be getting a phone call if I can't do this on my own and get it working right. Then then that might be the next call, but we'll see. I know they were just serviced not that long ago, right before we moved, but to make sure everything was happy and running correctly before Barry and Rory sold the place to us. But anyway, I don't know. It could be a lot of things, and I'm just not an expert on that particular topic. So I'm gonna have to Google it and figure it out and see if I can fix it. But that's all well and good. And then I got to go into Tupelo to hit Scruggs, because Mike needs some supplies, building supplies and things from there for I believe, materials for around his garden. I think he never tells me what I'm going to get. Often he'll just say, I need this item and this item, and I just kind of know based on past discussions or what the current project is that I think it's being used for this. I'm fairly certain that he's going to be using it on his garden as, part of the fencing and like chicken wire situation that he's going to put around his garden to keep the critters like the bunnies and the, obviously the deer. That's more going to be the fencing. Although the chicken wire, I'm sure, around some of the things will help deter when the things are smaller. But he does have a plan in place for all of that. But luckily, because with the roosters right there in a pen and everything, like they seem to be deterring a lot of things that would be wanting to eat the garden anyway. That, and then we take the dogs out back quite often, so also kind of deters things from hanging out right there, I guess, that would be wanting to nibble on garden things that Mike would be doing. So I hadn't planned on going into town today. I hadn't planned on going into Scruggs, but Mike said he needed that stuff. I knew I had to get the HVAC stuff, and then I was working on one of our hoses busted. It was brand new hose too, so Mike's got a patch kit that he's going to do on the one hose. It's like one of those 100-foot hoses, and those things are not cheap. But he's got a patch kit he's going to do on it. But even with that length of hose, it's still not long enough to get all the way to the coop. So I've been doing bucket brigade when I have to refill the little goose's pond thing and their water over there for the chickens and stuff, which is not ideal. It works, but it takes a while because you're walking a few hundred yards and carrying it back and forth, and you can't fill the bucket all the way because then it's too heavy and it just sloshes. So, and you can't put it on a cart because that road down there is not straight, so it's bumpy and half the water will spill out and you're back to square one with an empty bucket. So he said he's going to order me another hose that's going to attach that'll be long enough to bring it out there. Hopefully he remembers to do that, because I don't want to be part of the bucket brigade. And yes, eventually we will be running water lines out to the coop and barn area, because the barn will be next to the coop. But again, we're not there yet. So some of these things are going to be kind of temporary fixes until some of those things get done. And I know I don't like to do temporary fixes like that myself either. Part of that happens because there's multiple projects being done at once. So not one project is getting started from start to finish. It's kind of, which is not how I would choose to do it, given my druthers. My brain does not like that. But I've learned over the years that with Mike, he thrives in chaos, and he has to just sort of be hopping from one thing to the next to keep himself from, I don't know, getting burned out and just walking away from something maybe. I'm not sure the reasoning behind it. I've never cracked that code. But he definitely likes to have a little bit of this going on, a little bit of this going on, a little bit of this going on, which stresses me out, because I'm like, can we just finish one thing and get it done from like this beginning to the end, have it planned out and do it? That is not Mike's MO. But it makes my head explode. So I try to stay out of some of that stuff, because otherwise it just makes me anxious, and I don't do well with it. But for me, like the things that I'm in charge of, they get done in a certain order at a certain time in a certain way. But long story short, there will be water out there eventually, as well as electricity, but again, not there yet. So the next thing was, I was in there cleaning out the coop and stuff and doing all that. And I had seen, I know there's lots of different ways to do bedding for your coop. And I found a couple that were really interesting, that were more with the idea of using like a sand-based one where it would clump. And I've done that before and used the long-handled kitty litter thing to, sift it out. But I hadn't done that for a few years because we had kind of gotten away from doing that. I don't remember why we stopped. to be honest. I honestly don't remember why. I think it had to do with I couldn't get the same stuff anymore, and then we were getting a different supply of something else that was less expensive for bedding for a while. So, we just kind of went with that for a while because it was free or cheap or something like that. But anyway, it wasn't as good, in my opinion. Excuse me. Still fighting that cold, man. Or not fighting the cold, but fighting the breakup of everything from when I had the flu a couple weeks ago. Still blowing my nose and coughing a bit. But anyway, so I had seen some interesting ones. I know like there's hemp and there's the like repurposed coffee grounds that makes an interesting bedding. So I'm kind of looking into some of that to see if I can find a good supply on something like that, because ideally, like the pine shavings and the brands of pine shavings that I found out here, I do not like. They're really chemically smell to them. I don't like them. They got like ammonia on them or something almost. And so once the birds are using it for a couple of days, it starts to really smell strong. And I've never had pine shavings that smelled like that before after just a day or two of use. So I need to find something else that's going to work better because I'm not a fan of that smell. And it's impossible to clean it. You just have to take it all out and start over. You can't sift it out. So I'm going to try to find something today, either at the hardware place, because they sort of have a hodgepodge of stuff, or at the local livestock place. If they don't have anything, then I'll check at Scruggs when I go up there in a little while and see if I can't find something along those lines that I like better, in one of those long skinny scoop handles that looks like a hay scoop fork, but got the little sifting sand thing on it so you can get the poop out. And I also want to get myself one of those muck cart buckets, and I've been saying I'm going to do it for years, and I never buy one because Mike always talks me out of it. We have wheelbarrows. Well, here's the problem. Wheelbarrows Mike uses in the garden and when he's doing construction and when he's doing everything else. I'm weird, and I like to do things in order, and I like to have things to have a home, and things need to be in a certain place and all of that, right? So when I use something, I put it back where it belongs. When Mike uses something, he puts it back where it was last that he used it, oftentimes. So the wheelbarrows often get left in the garden with stuff in them, and so in order to use one of the wheelbarrows, I then have to like take everything out of the wheelbarrows and like unload whatever's in there or clean it out or something before I can even use it. And so I don't like that game, really. And I feel like I need my own little muck cart that I can keep with all my animal stuff, and that way it's designated for that. I know that that's what's been in it and the only thing that's been in it, so I'm not spreading manure everywhere as well. And so anyway, that's my plan, and I don't care if he doesn't like it. I'm gonna do it anyway, although I don't think he would care at this point, but you never know. So I think I'm going to be doing that, and if I can find a good one that I like. I've seen different versions of them before that are some are a little bit bigger than others. Some have like the 3 wheels with the pull cart, some have like 2, and some have 4. So I gotta look at some of the different ones that they might have down at Scruggs. I doubt I'll find any at the livestock grocery, because that one, it's a smaller store and they have certain things, but something like that I think I'm gonna have to get at Scruggs, which is fine. I have to go there anyway, but I'm excited to get that because I think it will make my life easier in the long run with everything, because I can also put like the bucket in there, because we also have a big cart that we use for stuff, but a lot of times again gets used in the garden, gets stuff left on it. So in order to use it, you got to like put everything else away that's been left on the cart before you can use it. Like even this morning, the air compressor got left on it, and I had to go put the air compressor away before I could use the cart to go move feed. So it's just an example of why I need my own cart. So I'm going to buy myself a cart for Mother's Day. That is what I'm going to do. because that is the rule. When it's close to Mother's Day, you can buy anything you want and just say it's part of my Mother's Day gift, right? Right. So I'm going to give myself the gift of making my air conditioner work and the gift of a muck cart, because that's what I'm going to do. Oh, I should have gone there first. Oh, they're not even open, so it's fine. I'm going to stop by the livestock grocery, but they have strange hours during the week, so that's right, today's Tuesday. Whatever. I don't know. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you. I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. You guys are seeing this Wednesday, which means tonight you will see us live on 3 Mississippi, so I hope you can join us for that. And we will see you then. Bye.